Starts first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. And Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, starting off the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. To the end zone, that's hauled in with one hand by McCulley. Touchdown, Indiana.
Welcome to episode 205 of Hoosier Happy Hour. You know this voice. It's the man, the host, the guy that drives everybody crazy and has zero talent. That's Michael Bragg. Speaking of talent, there is no talent on this episode. So if you're looking for Brandon, he's not here. We're actually not sure where he was at. He was freaking out about some beach vacation with his kid, but he's got about an army with him to help him chase the kid around the beach. So I think he's okay. I think he's back, but I think he like put in a day of PTO, assuming that he's probably going to be hungover or exhausted. But he's probably both. So instead we get Seth, and it's just me and Seth. And so you'll get your video game fix. I know that a lot of you have already started. I have not. He has. I am a Friday guy. I made that decision a while ago. Kind of regret it a little bit, but I will wait one more day, I guess, after when this episode comes out. One more day, and I will be out there, not playing on freshman mode and beating Purdue 99-14, but I'll just, beat them that way, normal. So yeah, Seth, what's up, man?
Full disclosure, I'm a Friday guy too. I've just been on the I've followed like 5 or 6 different Twitch channels already, and I've been watching nerds play it.
Gotcha. I can't do that, dude.
Complete trash clown.
I couldn't do that. I even watching even some of the IU fans on Twitter that have been playing, and like I do like the thing that IU Twitter put or IU Instagram put out, or I guess IU Media put out yesterday, with the players playing. It was pretty cool.
So let me just say these 2 things I've noticed.
Well, we're gonna get to the section, so don't ruin anything yet. But
all right,
we'll get there. So yeah, quick rundown. Seth has taken a couple weeks off with some, I think, a vacation and then a sickness. So news around the program, not a whole lot going on, but we'll talk about some stuff. NCAA 25 talk. Then we're going to do a quick schedule preview of Game 7, which is Nebraska at home. You might as well go ahead and, I would say, marker it in, or maybe a erasable pin. Do they still make erasable pins, Seth? Do you remember those?
Why? Yeah, of course I remember them, but why? They're still pointless.
Really?
Yeah, why?
I dug them, dude. 7th grade or whatever, whenever they came out. Maybe
Man up to some mistakes.
Yeah.
Etch some shit out.
Were you a whiteout guy? I wasn't a whiteout guy. I was like a scribble.
I was a scribbler.
Mistake.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right. My boss is a whiteout guy, and it drives me nuts. Love him, though, but it drives me nuts. Okay, so yeah, we're going to review that, Garrett. Do a quick preview on that game. It'll be all wrong because it's July. And then we'll do no randos, but we'll do a little bit of a sack, I think. And just a quick reminder, we are 45 days as of recording date, 7/17 from kickoff. 45 days. 50 days NFL, if that matters. But right now we're going to talk college football, and that's really all we care about right now. So 45 days until we're going to have some football. So I think even before that, but when IU plays 45 days. All right, news around the program. Brandon and I talked about moving Heps Rock out last week, and I think right as we were recording it, a bunch of the other stuff, a bunch of other confirmations came out. We even talked about how we think he's going to up the inch, or he's going to up the entrance, or we're going to do something different with that. We're going to do something different with that. Well, all of that's been confirmed. There's a new on-field entrance for the players. They're adding on, I think, to what's already there, as well as like new music and videos and all that stuff. There's going to be brand new concessions around. You're going to see a bunch of other new stuff that they've been talking about, I think, for a couple of years at this point. Kind of the grab and go station. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but we'll figure it out pretty quick. And then a bunch of new improvements throughout the concourses, which I believe also include the restrooms. So whether or not that means troughs are gone, I don't know. I think my new section does not have troughs. I think it's a full urinal section, but old section 11 where we used to be, that was a trough section. And I don't think I'm going to miss that. So, cool. I don't think that's it. No commitments this week. It's kind of, it might be a dead period or something like that. No real, any of that stuff. I think we're just amping up ready for fall camp. So, yeah, let's get into the video games part. The only thing I've got down, if you want to start with this, we can, or we can finish with it. The IU player rankings. If you haven't seen them, we'll go over a couple of the key ones. I highlighted the ones I want to talk about, at least talk about them for a second. And then, yeah, maybe Seth can go whatever he thinks our surprise is. Or do you want to start with the other nerdy stuff first, and then we'll talk rankings? What do you?
Yeah,
this is your section.
I want to do some nerdy stuff here for a minute.
Okay, do it.
Two of the surprise things I have seen in a lot of simulations: NC State being a team that's a surprising ACC representative in a lot of initial CFP projections or simulations, whatever you call those things. They've also.
What are your thoughts on the kid from South Carolina?
That was the next thing I was going to get, and this is the guy who I believe is Nick Harper.
Yes.
Yeah. He's 6'5", 242. He's an Olympic sprinter. Could have qualified this year for the Olympic Games in Paris, and is choosing to instead play his sophomore year, a true sophomore year at South Carolina. So yeah, that's one of those things that watching him play, he's a 99 speed, 99 acceleration, and like 97 catch. And essentially he's 4 inches taller and 50 pounds bigger than every single cornerback in the game. So the amount of highlight reels, again, it's so nerdy to talk about like video game highlights. Yeah. But this dude is racking up some just insane user catches. Lots of like busting through DBs, running for 40 yards after breaking tackles. It is just insane what this guy has turned into from like a viral standpoint. And there's also one little hidden quarterback.
Before you move on.
Yeah.
Before you move on. I'm assuming you can hunt transfers, right? So you can go after transfers.
So that's the one part I haven't done a lot of research into yet.
I know that
there's a transfer
right?
portal, so the players, once that they announce, I don't know if you can ask them to enter.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, that might be a little bit too real life. Like a little bit too under the radar.
Right, like Texas A&M showing up at a guy's house on Christmas Day and saying, "Hey, how about you just don't go back to Indiana?"
Yeah, right.
Like the state, not the university. Sorry.
What I was getting at was going to say, I think that might be like the one player that I throw the entire NIL book at. Like, although if there is a player that we shouldn't be going after at IU, it's probably another receiver. But yeah, that would be a monster get. But yeah, that's cool, dude. I've never heard of this guy, and everybody, obviously, I don't want to say this like I'm some big important person, but I run a college football based podcast and I watch a ton of college football across the country, and I've never heard of this guy until the video game comes out, which is crazy.
Yeah, but, he has all the tools though. He is the like video game nightmare cheat code.
Who was South Carolina's last monster receiver? Was it Alshon
Jeffrey? They had a couple other guys who were smaller, and I can't remember any of their names. But yeah, Alshon Jeffrey was the last like just absolute game changer, who then became a stud pro as well.
I can't believe I remember.
There's another guy I'm blanking on. I'm going to kick myself for, who was really good, but he was, not that same body type where it's like, the 6'5" monster.
Trying to see South Carolina players: Stephen Gilmore, Alshon Jeffrey. Really, the NFL has ads in between their slideshow. Sidney Rice.
Sidney Rice. Yeah, he was a big body guy. Yeah. I don't think he was nearly as good as Alshon Jeffrey at their peaks, but
yeah. Top current NFL players from South Carolina, and guess who's not on that list?
Not Spencer Rattler.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Is he on a contract this year?
He's in, dude. There was like Jared Cook and stuff on there. He's not playing anymore. I think it was like an all-time. Isn't he on the Browns or on the Texans?
I think he's still floating around. Yeah.
Jadeveon Clowney is. He got released in March of 2023. He's with the Panthers.
There we go.
There you go. So, I mean, he definitely never lived up. A career 52.5 sacks. I mean, that's decent, but he's been in the league for
a long time.
A while. It doesn't really say right here on this front page, but yeah. I mean, he didn't live up to the hype. One real big highlight play, right? And then
the Michigan where he took the running back's head off, and
his entire life. Yes.
All right.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
IU stuff. Oh, sorry. There's one player who's a quarterback who's like a 4th string quarterback for I think a small school in Louisiana, maybe
17.
Who's a 12.
14,
a 12. his passing strength is a 15 or something like that.
I saw this today.
Like they're like, who did this guy piss off?
Dude, that's got to be so bad to either like obviously walk around the locker room is one thing, right? But that dude's going around the campus, and you know that I'd say college kids, the strong majority, maybe 70%, 80% of the dudes that are walking around that campus know that you're a 12 on that game. Like that is crazy.
I'm hoping there's some story where he's like the holder on the team.
Yeah.
And he's a redshirt 6th year senior, like a former walk-on, and he's the 85th guy they threw on there. So that he could get a little bit of like NIL money. Like that's what I'm hoping the story is.
I thought it was one of those situations. You know how sometimes when you don't recruit a fullback or something,
and they put a 40,
they throw like a 43rd string or 4th string tight end into your fullback or something. And I was like, okay, maybe he's like a kicker that's like their 4th string quarterback, but no, it's quarterback.
Yep.
So that's funny.
All right, let's talk IU. That's the stuff that we did like a projection. Oh shoot, that must have been like 3 or 4 months ago, where you're just like, oh, this guy's probably here. I'm glad. I thought I was pretty close on a lot of them. I think you guys, I don't know. I thought I was pretty close.
We all had one player up pretty high, he was pretty high, but we did not have the number 1 ranked person.
We did not have D'Angelo Pons on our radar at all.
We didn't have. Okay, we'll go over them. Let's go over them real quick.
Yep.
I've got the ones highlighted because those are the ones I want to talk about and their ratings and kind of how they, in my mind, are either underrated or overrated. So the first one, he said D'Angelo Pons, the transfer from James Madison. He's like the number 1 rated defensive back transfer. Number 1.
Mm-hmm.
In 87 overall. I think he's a true sophomore coming in. So he's a real stud. And then you've got obviously Elijah Sarrett, which I think all of us had at number 1.
Right.
In our predictions, he's an 86. A surprise for me that I don't have highlighted, but I'm really proud of this, is Donovan McCulley at an 85. So our top 3 players are cornerback, wide receiver.
Skill players.
Yep. And then Curtis Rourke way high from what we thought. I think we had him at high 70s.
See, this was one of the ones I thought I had him at like an 82 or 83 because I always thought the MAC quarterbacks always get a boost in the game. It's a really weird thing. They always value it.
I've seen some highlights. I've seen some where he's running. I've seen some good throws. 84 overall there. I'll just mention real quick CJ West,
which we didn't talk about.
Transfer.
We didn't talk about in the last one because he wasn't on the team.
Yeah,
but
82 overall, the transfer from Kent State.
Right.
And then, so here's some interesting ones. One that we thought maybe would have even cracked the top 100. Carter Smith in it at 81, as well as I guess who I'm assuming is going to be the starting running back, since he's going to Big Ten Media Days, and Justice Ellison also an 81.
I was gonna say that says a lot when you're sending, what was it?
Ellison, Kadick, and Aiden Fisher.
Right.
Yeah. Aiden Fisher we'll talk about here in just a minute too, because I was surprised by his ranking. A bunch of really badass players here that we all love. At an 80 overall with Big Cat, Mike Kadick, EJ Williams coming in there, the wide receiver. You got Josh Sanguinetti, who's been here for about 17 and a half years, and we love him. He's 80 overall. My boy, who I think is going to have a huge year, Mikel Kamara, a defensive end, the JMU transfer, at an 80. And then our right tackle, which is really nice to see, 2 tackles at an 81 and an 80 overall. It's not great, but I think it's fairly encouraging if that translates at all to the field. I'm going to just do my highlights, and then you can talk about your other ones. So let's scoot down here a little bit. Michigan State transfer walk-on, Andrew DePepe, a 77 overall, which is, 1, 2, 3, like 7th or 8th highest rating on the team, or tied for all of those other people. So here's some surprises. I was kind of disappointed in some of these rankings. Aiden Fisher, who a lot of people have pegged to be a massive contributor on defense. Obviously, I think the main starting linebacker in our defense as well, ranked at a 75. Another 75, a guy that I gushed. I just gushed all over. That didn't sound right. I gushed all about all about Terry Jones Jr. He's coming in as a 75 as well. And then some other just interesting side notes. Tyler Cherry and Taven Jackson both rated as a 75. Other 74. Than that, I think everything else seems about right. I think Sedarius Doss, cornerback, higher rated than what a lot of people think. That's really it. Nothing else really stood out to me. Do you have anything you want to talk about that wasn't, I guess, highlighted?
Yeah, here's a couple things. The sixth best wide receiver, Omar Cooper, sixth wide receiver
77.
overall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of depth when you're talking about wanting to play with IU as a team, except for the years where you had Antoine Randall, and maybe if Trey Roberson, only from an athletic standpoint. The quarterback position has been kind of a statuesque. Whatever. And it's hard to play offense in there. And here you have weapons. You have two running backs in the top, 79 or above. Those are weapons. That's players you can use. You have 6 wide receivers, 77 or above. Those are targets, so that wear and tear, things like that, as if you're playing as a dynasty, you can absorb some hits. And you have 2 gigantic playmakers as 85s and 86s receivers. Those are weapons in the Big Ten. Those are going to beat Big Ten cornerbacks. So you can actually play now as IU and have a fairly realistic chance to be in a lot of the games. Ohio State, there should be a couple teams that should probably, beat the brakes off you. But for the most part, you should be able to have a pretty competitive run with IU straight out of the gate, which that's the best you can ask for. First year coach, all these transfers coming in, and you guys have a functional, fun roster you can play with and build from.
Yeah. Again, these are just, we're just nerding out over a video game.
Right.
What does this mean
solely,
when it translates? Yeah.
Right. This is solely
just for people listening.
Yes.
I don't want you guys to freak out and be like, oh my God, Aiden Fisher's a 75. He's going to be terrible. By the way, these are fluid rankings. They will change, right? I think it's week to week. Is that correct?
Yeah. They haven't committed to how frequently they're going to do it, but they did say that it's going to be an evolving process over the course of the season.
They'll change or they'll stay the same. If they're properly rated, they'll stay, or if they're real hot, they'll go up. Everybody's played. Everybody that's listening, I'm assuming, has played video games at some point. And so there you go. I'm done with this. If you want to keep talking about it, go ahead.
Nope, we're good.
Well, let's
talk
move
Nebraska.
On.
Yeah,
let's talk Nebraska. As much as I don't want to talk Nebraska.
Yeah,
Game 7.
How much of that was excitement for the game, and how much of that was avoiding talking about Cornhuskers?
There was a lot of avoiding. Yeah, I'm pumped about the game. Don't get me wrong. And my wife, I think we talked about it. She's a nurse. I don't want to, when I say she works night shift, I don't want people to be like, oh, she works in a factory or something. And she's like, it's just fine. It's not poo-pooing on people that work in a factory. I'm just saying. But she works Friday night, so I might still be awake when she gets home at 4:00 in the morning. So we'll see. So yeah, I'm pumped. But yeah, let's get back to the game. Game number 7 of the season. Nebraska on 10/19, a game I probably won't be able to go to because that is Vegas trip for me in Chelsea is the day we're supposed to leave. I told her, I said, if it's a noon kick, we could push the flight back 5:00 if we need to. But okay, let's get into it. Series history. I think this is going to be homecoming, by the way, which we already talked about.
Yes.
Series history. IU leads the series 10-9. Previous meeting was 2 years ago. IU 21, Nebraska 35. An incredibly frustrating game from IU's standpoint. Had a really, really good game for 3 of the 4 quarters, and then just kind of fell apart. Largest margin of victory, and a lot of my stats when it comes to these series history stats, they come from a website called Winsipedia, and it's really cool. If you've never seen it, it will match up any 2 teams, and it'll show you all of their games, and it'll break it all down in a graph, and you can look at all the different scores, and it'll give you their ranks all time in college football. It's really cool. But they got this wrong. They had a different game down as the largest margin of victory. The actual largest margin of victory. 1944, IU spanked Nebraska 54-0. I don't have a fun fact. I forgot to look for a fun fact. But yeah, there you go.
The fun fact is they don't allow fun in Nebraska.
There you go. This is their fun in Nebraska. Getting really amped up for a college football team that usually disappoints. Speaking of disappointing, and I have not looked at their schedule, so I cannot wait to talk about it. But they're over-under wins, and they should be right around here. I think that's the big expectation, and it has been for a while since the offseason, is 7.5 wins.
Knee-jerk reaction is that's ridiculously high.
Really?
Oh, God. I have no faith. I have no faith in Nebraska or Matt Rhule.
You know where I stand with their head coach, Matt Rhule. In his second season, he sucks. And he's small. He's small. He's 5'6". I learned that from his Wikipedia page for some reason. They put his height. When they show him on TV, he doesn't look 5'6". I think it might be the vest. Doesn't he usually wear like a vest or something? Yeah, I don't like this guy. We'll talk about some of the key players real quick. And this is kind of where I think some of Seth's skepticism is coming from, because they've got a ton of hype on offense and with zero actual production so far. So we'll see how it goes.
It's all pinned on this true freshman quarterback wunderkind who has committed to more schools than anybody else I've ever met.
That was my next question. No, there's no way he committed to more schools than Gunnar Kyle or Gunnar Keel.
I mean, they're neck and neck. I mean,
oh my god,
Florida, Georgia,
you talking
Nebraska,
about Gunnar or Dylan?
Dylan.
All right, so we're talking about quarterback Dylan Rhule. A lot of hype. There's so much hype around this recruit, a 5-star recruit, number 2 overall ranked player in the class. 6'3", way taller than his coach. 230 pounds is what they've got him listed at on the Nebraska website. Huge arm, NFL ready from everything I've read. Doesn't really move well, moves within the pocket okay, but doesn't really take off running. One of the things I read that was fairly encouraging, I guess, is if you can cover for more than, I'd say 3.5, 4 seconds, you've got a pretty good chance at him screwing something up. He's only thrown 1 interception last year, I think, out of 250 passing attempts in high school. But we all know playing against high school kids and playing in D1 Power 4 college football is totally different. So we'll see how it translates, I guess. I'd like to see how he's going to be challenged earlier in the year prior to IU. I, again, don't know their schedule, and I can't wait to go over it. So
he might be an absolute stud. We have we have no way of knowing at this point. And all the articles around him, it's not so much about how wonderful of a player he is and how great of a passer is. It's always about his indecision, his recruiting process, his dad and his uncle and their influence on him.
Dad's big, right?
Right, yeah. They were both linemen in the NFL, I think.
Right.
Was it Dominic and I'm blanking on the other brother, but longtime NFL pros. So he has a pedigree of knowing the work. I mean, so everything indicates he's going to be a player. But I mean, it's a lot of pressure and faith to put in a true freshman.
And a true freshman quarterback, which is what we'll be doing next year when we talk about
Juju.
We'll talk about Juju. All right. So I wrote a note here, and I need to just read it. And I wrote, how were these next 2 players named, quote, important players? Now, again, Brandon and I get a lot of our information preseason from a couple other sites, whether it be Athlon Sports or College Football News, that do these preseason previews. And they list important players, and they do, important transfers and important transfers out and blah, 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 blah. Well, they listed both of these next 2 players, so let's talk about them. They're 2 running backs that are going to fight for the number 1 running back position. One of them you might have heard of. He played against us 2 years ago. His name's Gabe Ervin. He played 3 games in 2023, in which he ran for 196 yards and a touchdown. Good yards per average, yards per carry, which is 5.2. The 3 games he played were the first 3 games of the season, and they were cupcakes.
Yeah. They played against Minnesota, in which was one of the most unwatchable games I've ever watched.
Dude, I won some money on that game. I can't remember what it was. But that game was like triple or quadruple overtime or something.
No, we played the under. It was like
under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like they thought they were going to score like 37 points. We're like, oh, okay. Yeah, there was just no way in hell that was going to happen. And then they played Colorado. So I watched all three of those first games. He was the best player on their offense, I thought, by far, at least in the ground game. And then he dislocated his shoulder against NIU. That's why I only played in the 3 games. So I think he's a viable player. The question is longevity. Can he take he's still a redshirt junior now. Can he take the punishment of being a lead back?
Yeah.
The good news is they have a second guy that they think they can rely on as well.
They think this dude's going to come in and take it. And this guy, Dante Dowdle, an Oregon transfer, so another in-conference transfer. You'll hear a bunch of this throughout the season, I'm sure. Another player, a ton of hype, no production,
right?
0 production. He carried the ball 17 times last year, wasn't injured, 17 times, 90 yards and a touchdown. It 4-star recruit out of high school. I mean, Oregon just poops out 4-star recruits. That's not a big deal. Nothing that was too crazy that popped off for me. This is all going to come back, I'm sure, to bite me at some point. But neither one of those two scare me. I think Gabe Ervin had a decent game. I'd like to look that up. But do you want to talk any Dowell at all? Do you know anything about that guy?
I don't. It's one of those things where, again, these guys could be good players. We have no way of knowing at this time. They have high potential. They have high impact, ability. But he had 6 carries for 21 yards against IU in 2022 with the long of 8. Yeah. So he's not. Gabe Ervin is not a premier player. 90 yards is all you're getting from the Oregon transfer. But then again, if they cash in the potential that they allegedly have, they may be a problem. But as of right now, how can you possibly tell? How can you pin your hopes on a true freshman quarterback and 2 running backs who have combined for 290 yards in 24 and 23?
Yeah. They're putting a lot of potential production and into these predictions on some players that have not played in a long time. The next one is a very interesting player. I think I really like what he did 3 years ago. But that's pretty much how long it's been since he's played any college football. And this is their key wide receiver, really, Isaiah Nayer. He's a senior. He's a Texas transfer. He played 1 game at Texas after transferring in from Wyoming. He's 6'3", 215. We know what big wide receivers do to us. But again, this is a whole new regime. We don't know. Traditionally, they have a decent time. Maybe not against this coach and against one of the best quarterbacks in the country. But he's coming off an ACL tear last year. In 2022, he had another injury preseason. Didn't play the whole season. 2021, good production at Wyoming, right? Totally different kind of, game out west. But 44 catches, 878 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's pretty good, especially on 44 catches. Do you know anything about him? I feel like you watch a little bit of Wyoming football.
I did 3 years ago, and I have no memory of this guy whatsoever. But you can tell, as we're going to talk about Jamal Banks next, Matt Rhule has a fetish for a specific size of receiver. I mean, he likes the big, tall, lanky wide receivers in this transfer portal. Yeah.
You just said Jamal Banks, senior transfer in from Wake Forest. I don't know what happened to that program. That program, I think, just got ate up. And we've got their best running back. They've got their best wide receiver. 6'4", 205. I don't know if we don't follow Wake, so maybe they lost their coach or something. 59 catches, 653 yards, 4 touchdowns last year. Had a little bit more production in 22, but about the same stat line. This guy kind of scares me out of the 2. Obviously, very experienced. He's tall. He looks pretty quick from some of the highlights that I've seen. Again, 59 catches for 653 yards, so you're not getting a ton of average with that. But, I mean, you're getting a first down per catch at least. So any more insight, Jamal Banks, anything there?
No,
Not
Dave
really.
Clawson's been the coach for 11 years at Wake Forest, so
He's
it
still
should be
there.
a
So I
pretty
wonder what's going on there.
it should be a pretty stable environment, I think.
You would think so. I don't really have much more on their offense. Do you know anything offensive line wise? I didn't see
No.
anybody that was really standing out in important players.
No, they have the typical guys. I mean, they are the big, tall, 6'6", 295. The interior guys are more the 6'3", 315. They're the very prototypical Nebraska line. They have just really big bodies. So,
and if you remember it all, I think the last 2 times we played Nebraska, 19 we won, 22 was again just a very frustrating game. We got a decent amount of pressure on both of their quarterbacks. I mean,
their line has been a struggle point for the last several years. I mean, it's been an ongoing concern even before the Rhule regime.
So that it'll be interesting to see how everything matches up. Again, this is game 7, so we're gonna know what Nebraska's all about by then.
Identities will exist
by then. Yeah. The next guy I put on here, I don't think he made he did make their important players list, but I put him on here because he's got a funny name. Defensive tackle Nash Hutmacher. He's a beast, dude. Dude is an absolute shit house, dude. He is a monster at 6'4", 330, nose tackle. I think they play a 3-4, or at least they've got 3 down linemen because he is listed at nose tackle. From that position, Seth, he had 40 tackles and 4.5 sacks.
Right at the nose tackle, it's a gap, or it's a block eater. You're not supposed to get a lot of tackles. You're supposed to take blocks away so the middle linebackers can really sweep and get to the ball carriers. So that's just an insane number. And I remember, I think there was a game, Matt Millen, or one of those guys who's like an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. They just love the trench play. We're just gushing over him. There you go. Does that make you feel any better? But it was just gushing all over him. And so that was one of the names I was going to make sure was on this list if you didn't include him. But he's definitely one of the better interior defensive linemen in the Big Ten.
Yeah, this next guy's interesting. Listed at linebacker, but I haven't watched any of this, so I'm assuming he probably plays more of that Isaiah Simmons, the guy that broke our heart, McCullough. I don't even remember his first name. I forgot about him already. But kind of that position, or what Tom Allen would call the husky position, right? Because this guy, Javen Wright, had a massive year last year, and he's big for a linebacker, 6'5", 215, 51 tackles last year, a forced fumble, 2 interceptions, and 2 passes defended from that position. I mean, 2 picks for a linebacker. Again, another weird stat that kind of sticks out. Is it rare? No, but at 6'5", 215 to be playing a traditional linebacker position, he's not playing there. He's definitely playing out on the edge somewhere.
Right. Yeah. He's one of those guys who's too big to be a safety, but he's too tall to be an inside linebacker, not enough weight to really, but he plays really well in space. So yeah, he's going to be a guy who has a ton of potential. And if he can put on another, maybe 15 pounds, may have an outside shot at, playing the NFL. Yeah.
I think this is his senior season. Junior senior season. So he'll be eligible if he could have a big year. So next 2 guys, not overly impressive. I mean, they're okay. It's cornerback Tommy Hill last year, 26 tackles, 1 forced fumble, or 1 fumble recovery, and 4 picks. Pretty good, pretty decent season. Nothing stood out to him height-wise, speed-wise, nothing, just a good cover corner. And then the next guy I think we've probably all heard of, he's pretty decent. Isaac Gifford. Sorry. I think I wrote Griffin. Gifford. I wrote Grifford or Griffin like 6 times and had to keep deleting it. Senior safety, 86 tackles last year, 1 pick, 8 passes defended. That was the one stat that I was like, oh yeah, this dude is a ball hawk. So interesting defensive backfield. They lost a bunch of talent again on the corner. Other than Tommy Hill, they lost their they had a transfer out that was a pretty big transfer, and I can't remember his name. Out at the corner position. So again, we'll see. That's a strength for us matching up against anybody's corners for the most part. So we'll see how that translates as we go. So let's do some schedule time now, guys. Remember, 7.5 wins over under. Do you have the bet line in front of you on which way they're favoring? I guess I should have wrote that down. Usually Brandon has that because he's a degenerate gambler. Yeah. Let me pull it up. It'll take just a second. I guess do they have cupcakes to start or no?
They do. They have 2 of the first 3. So they have a bye game, which is a home game against UTEP, which that should be a game they show up and win easily.
Yeah. What, UTEP? At UTEP?
No, this is in Lincoln. There's no way they're going to El Paso.
Here. Hold on. No, what is this? This isn't DraftKings. Come on, bro. I can't find it. It doesn't matter. Brad's more of a Brandon stat anyway.
Then they
give him a W.
Yep. Then they play Colorado, which
W.
usually I was gonna say it's in Lincoln. The only reason I would lean anywhere towards Colorado would just be because it's early in the season. They have more veteran players. But I consider that to be a toss-up game.
Yeah.
I have them as 6 toss-up games.
Do you remember how, dude, there were a ton of toss-up games on the college football news preview?
Then they have a home game, a night game against Northern Iowa. So another bye game. So they should, be 2-1, 3-0 pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a slash with that Colorado because the experience, even whether or not it's their bad experience,
right?
They still have more experience than I think the entire offense of Nebraska. So
then they have Illinois. So the 4th game still haven't left Nebraska. That's another toss-up game.
Yeah, I think that's a win.
Their first road game is at Purdue. Again, another toss-up game.
Dude, they're starting off. I mean, I'm just gonna.
They could potentially be 5-0 at this point.
Is that a night game?
It's a noon game.
There's gonna be a lot of red
in West Lafayette. Yep, they travel really well. And Purdue and Nebraska have had some really good games over the last few years.
I'll put it as a toss-up too.
Homecoming back in Lincoln against Rutgers, which I would consider another toss-up game. Probably lean a little bit Nebraska. I'd
stay away from this.
I wouldn't put a damn penny on it.
No, this is crazy.
And now you're coming to BIU's homecoming.
Yeah, that's a win.
Which I would say is another coin flip game. Yeah, I know you're biased, but I would consider that a coin flip.
We got him.
At Ohio State, which that should be an absolute blowout.
Yeah, that's a loss.
UCLA is coming to Nebraska. That's a toss-up game.
I think
maybe lean Nebraska.
Yeah,
depending on how their offense has progressed up to that point. And then at USC, which I think USC, probably will win. I wouldn't consider that a toss-up. And then they end at home against Wisconsin, which Wisconsin should probably win. And then at Iowa, which I would consider another toss-up. So I have them right around 6-6.
So I've got
with 6 games potentially going either way. So pretty much a 9-3 to a 3-9 potential swing.
Definite wins. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So
and then I've got 1, 2, 3 toss-up games, which is 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk yourself into it pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could put the IU game, I guess, as a toss-up game, but I've got it as a loss. But so you could have 4 toss-up games and 4 wins, or 5 wins, and that's, man. Again, we don't know what this team's going to look like.
Right? No idea. No idea.
So, all right, let's move on. All right, so if you were wondering what anything is going to look like, or if you're unsure of what you're looking for in the housing market, you should check out our guy, Garrett Lawton. This episode's brought to you by our go-to expert in Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent you need. He's not just a real estate agent. He's a Hoosier fan, just like you, Seth. Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis. It's not that big of a gap, Brandon, or Garrett, and everywhere in between. Plus his personalized service, which is phenomenal, makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to give Garrett a try to buy, sell, or rent, or invest in your homes, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851, 317-410-8851, or visit his website at Lawton, LAWTON realty.com. Lawton-realty.com. That wasn't very smooth. So yeah, moving on. No randos. We got the sack. This is going to be a quick episode, I think. So Seth, what's in your sack?
Yeah, so we went through a bunch of my sack stuff that I planned in the NCAA college football game talk, because I just couldn't hold back any longer. But here's some interesting roster stuff that I looked at. Nebraska has, of course, no players with any Indiana ties whatsoever because they're afraid of the state of Indiana because of, corn rivalries and things of that, I would imagine.
Because you can't see over the corn to recruit anybody. Well, I guess
Anyway.
corns. I guess it doesn't make any sense. Maybe they might go their corn 5-5 in the past.
Anyways, they do have 2 players from the Chicagoland area, both on the Illinois side, because yes, there is an Indiana part of Chicagoland, and they have 2 guys from the greater Detroit area as well, a running back and a long snapper. So
either of them go to is it MLK High School?
No, the one guy from Detroit ended up actually going to Lincoln High in Nebraska.
Okay.
Which I know there's a Lincoln High in Detroit too, so I had to double check on that. I was like, "Are you sure? Is that like a?" But it says
I
Lincoln.
Remember
Nebraska.
that high school because we had a couple big recruits from there.
And then the other guys from the long snappers from Grand Blanc Community.
Oh,
High
okay.
School.
Yes, Grand White Community High School. Gotcha.
Yes.
What was that?
I think my kid probably just dropped a bowl of dessert. That's my guess.
Oh,
this is prime dessert time. Give him some sugar right before bed.
Can we talk about dessert for a second? Just a side note.
I guess it's your show, man.
Do you ever when you spell desert and dessert? Do you ever have you ever heard how people know to put the extra S in dessert?
Yeah, because I never want to go to 2 deserts, but I wouldn't mind sometimes having 2 desserts.
That's the opposite of what I was thinking. Was that you want more dessert, right? So you put an extra S in there.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
I don't want to go to 2 deserts, but I would like 2 desserts. Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't have. I just would have left the desert out. I would have just said I want 2 desserts, which is why we both look the way that we look. So it's perfect.
And the other thing is, they do have a player from my favorite town in all of Nebraska. There's a guy named Connor Schutt. He's listed as an athlete. He has no number currently designated to him. He's a 6'6", 195-pound athlete from Wahoo, Nebraska.
Did you look him up? Does he have a recruiting profile?
I haven't.
What's his name? Connor what?
Connor Schutt or Schutt. SCHUTT.
Yeah, he's
got some of that broccoli hair.
He's got a 24/7 thing, I think.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, from Bishop Newman.
Yeah, Bishop Newman and Wahoo, Nebraska.
Yeah,
he put up some nice stats as a junior and senior.
He got an offer according to 24/7.
He was a quarterback.
His only offer was from Nebraska. Weird, man.
He was a quarterback, but he threw for 1,400 yards as a sophomore, 680 yards, and 768 yards as a junior. That must have been a run happy offense.
Bishop Newman.
Yeah.
Wahoo, Nebraska. Awesome.
Yeah, the Wahoo Cavaliers from Wahoo, Nebraska. That's all I got.
All right, that's it. Cool, man. Well, we'll get you guys out of here and get your Thursday rolling with a little 45-minute. I'm not even sure we're gonna get there. But
inflation has ruined happy hour. It's shrinkflation. Is that the thing?
I don't know. Last week we spent over an hour talking about you might have shrinkflation. I don't have that problem, but we spent an hour on Northwestern, but we couldn't reach 45 minutes on Nebraska. Be sure to check out the pod on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Hour IUFB. That's all one word, Happy Hour IUFB. Be sure to rate and review on all of our platforms. You guys should know all this stuff by now. You guys listen to every episode. It's crazy. Tell your friends, man. Spread the news. Season's coming up, 45 days away as of today, 44 days on day of release. I am pumped, dude. I cannot wait.
Get the hype train rolling. Play games as IU. Get in the mix.
Yes. I was going to say, I'm already setting up the tailgate playlist and everything, dude. I'm ready to go. Grill is already cleaned and chilling in the garage. I'm pumped, ready to go. So, okay. Until then, cheers.
Cheers.